The first thing I noticed was the blue and pink paper ribbon crushed in Lily Moore's fist. Spun sugar drifted across the community center lawn with the smell of warm asphalt, and balloons knocked against the brick facade whenever the late afternoon breeze lifted the colorful bunting. Children chased one another between the ring toss booth and the face painting table. Near the emergency gate, an older woman held a manila envelope against her palm and blocked Clara Moore's path as neatly as if she had planned the geometry. I was there under a written contract to review crowd flow, pickup points, and emergency access. My gray Henley was too warm for the sun, and the waterproof field notepad in my pocket already held 6 pages of problems. A child being cornered beside a restricted exit had just become number 7. Clara wore a light blue summer dress and kept one hand near Lily's shoulder, her thumbnail pressed into the side of her index finger until the skin paled. Lily, 6 years old and small for her age, stood in a pale yellow dress with the ribbon tucked against her chest. The woman was Eleanor Moore, Clara's former mother-in-law. Her son, Caleb, had filed for an emergency custody change 3 days earlier after returning from contract work out of state. He wanted Lily during school weeks, citing Clara's freelance schedule, 1 late pickup, and a blank secondary contact line. Eleanor paid Caleb's attorney, served on the school foundation, and knew how to turn concern into reputation. The envelope held a 6-week hearing notice, school forms, and 2 neighbor statements. Clara's divorce had consumed most of her savings. She could afford limited counsel, not a long trial. If the school treated her as unsafe first, the allegation would arrive in court disguised as fact. I moved closer without entering Clara's reach. Eleanor's voice carried over the carnival music. "A blank line is not a support system," she said. "Caleb has a house, regular hours, and family ready to help. You have invoices spread across your kitchen and a child who waits while you finish client calls." Clara's jaw tightened. Lily has never been left alone. "Then tell that to Evelyn Price at the evaluation. Tell it to the judge. Tell it to Nora Bell when the school asks why no one else can collect her." Lily's ribbon tore another 1/4 inch. I lowered myself onto one knee so Lily could see my face in both of my hands. "That ribbon looks official," I said. She studied me. It was for the family relay. "Then it deserves better treatment than my field notes." A corner of her mouth lifted. Clara looked down at me, then toward Eleanor. Her voice barely cleared the noise from the raffle tent. "Will you pretend to be my baby's dad today?" I rose slowly and kept a full step between us. "Do you want me to correct her, call the event coordinator, or stay beside you until she leaves?" Clara glanced at Lily. Her thumb moved toward her finger again, then stopped. "Stay beside us until she leaves. If she assumes something, let her. Only until the fair ends." "No statements to the school or court?" "No." "No contact unless you ask?" "Yes." "And after Eleanor leaves, the arrangement is over?" Clara nodded. After the gate, I opened my notepad. "Any support after today goes through written scope or your counsel." Eleanor gave a short laugh. "You're making rules in the middle of a carnival?" "I'm documenting a boundary beside an emergency exit," I said. "Those are different activities." My radio crackled. I confirmed the gate had to remain clear, brought over a volunteer witness, marked Eleanor's position on the crowd map, and recorded the adults within hearing distance. I photographed the blocked gate and envelope. "Never Lily." Eleanor watched the pen move. Her grip on the envelope loosened. "This is a private matter," she said. "Then it should continue in a private, lawful setting. The school event ends at 6. Until then, the child safety rules apply to everyone." Clara stepped forward before I could say more. "Eleanor, you will not corner me or Lily at school events. Send legal communication to my attorney when I retain one. If Caleb wants a different parenting schedule, he can ask for it without using his mother to frighten our daughter." The volunteer beside the gate stopped pretending not to listen. Eleanor slid the envelope into Clara's hand. 6 weeks, she said. "Caleb is offering you every other weekend. Take it before the evaluator sees how thin your support really is." Clara held the envelope flat against her dress. "We'll respond through the proper process." Eleanor walked toward the parking lot. I stayed where Clara had asked me to stay until the black sedan cleared the south gate. Then I closed the notepad. "The cover's over," I said. Clara released a careful breath. "Thank you for saying that out loud." Lily held up the damaged ribbon. "Can it still be official?" I took a strip of clear event tape from my assessment pouch and reinforced the back without covering the colors. Now it has a repair record. Clara laughed once, surprised enough to look annoyed with herself. It was the first warm sound I had heard from her. The following Monday, fluorescent lights hummed above Maya Chen's conference table. A family law attorney offering limited scope representation, Maya had agreed to handle Clara's emergency response after reading my incident report. She defined our roles before anyone sat down. I handle legal conclusions, filings, negotiations, and court appearances. Maya said, "Bennett handles security facts and evidence organization only. Clara makes every parenting decision." I placed the signed fundraiser incident report on the table with the crowd map, radio log, witness list, and time-stamped photographs. The deliverable was narrow: where Eleanor stood, what safety rule applied, what was said within witness range, and when Clara asked her to stop. Maya read the final page. "This is usable because it does not diagnose motives. I charge extra for mind reading," I said. Clara looked over her paper cup. Included in the fake family package? The paperwork would be unbearable. Maya returned to the petition. Caleb's stated concern is schedule instability. His proposed arrangement gives Clara alternate weekends and one Wednesday dinner. It also gives Eleanor unrestricted school pickup authority. Clara's thumbnail pressed into her finger. That is the real point. Caleb travels. His mother would be doing most of the weekday care. "Can you prove his travel schedule?" "Not without discovery." "Then we do not guess," Maya said. "We prove your schedule, your child care, and Lily's routine. We also ask for Caleb's proposed caregiving plan in writing." Clara opened a thin folder. "I can pay for the emergency response and 2 hearings. After that, I need a payment plan." Maya wrote the figure down instead of pretending money did not matter. "We keep the scope disciplined. No unnecessary motion practice." I should have waited for Clara to ask. Instead, I pulled a stapled document from my bag. I drafted a school security plan. I said, authorized pickup list, late arrival procedure, contact escalation, and a no confrontation route through the East office. Clara stared at the pages without touching them. Maya leaned back. I knew the right move was to offer options. My hands had produced a complete answer before my judgment caught up. Clara set her paper cup down. Did Nora Bell ask for this? No. Did Maya? No. Did I? The room became quiet enough to hear the copier in the hall. I asked for support. Bennett, not another man deciding what I'm allowed to handle. The words landed without volume. I slid the plan back toward myself. You're right. I do want ideas, she said. I do not want a finished system dropped on my life before I have spoken. I removed the staple, separated the pages, and placed the blank pickup worksheet in front of her. The rest went back into my bag. Would you like the school's current procedure, 3 options for improving it, or no security work until you meet Nora? 3 options, Clara said, and I choose after Nora explains what the school can actually implement. Understood. Maya tapped her pen against the fundraiser report. That correction matters as much as this document. I left the office with fewer pages in my hand and a clearer boundary in my head. 2 days later, Nora Bell met us in the school administration room. Children's artwork covered one wall, and a printer jam warning blinked over untouched forms. Nora had known Lily since kindergarten and was tired of being treated as ammunition. The blank secondary contact line triggered a routine reminder. Nora said, "It did not trigger a safety finding." Eleanor asked whether the school could provide a letter describing Clara as unsupported. I refused. Clara's shoulders lowered by less than an inch. Nora brought out attendance reports, sign-in records, nurse visits, and pickup logs. Lily had 2 tardies in a year, both documented during a winter bus disruption. The late pickup Eleanor cited had lasted 11 minutes. Clara had called the office before dismissal and authorized Lily to remain with Nora. We worked at a secured review terminal rather than taking records home. I used a calendar audit template, a school access log, and an evidence index Maya had approved. Clara checked every page before handing it over, even when the numbers blurred and she had to restart the same column. At 7, she read March 12 for the third time when the screen said March 21. I lowered the monitor brightness and closed half the tabs. We are reducing the task. I can finish. You can choose what remains. I turned the index toward her. Attendance comparison, pickup authorizations, or work calendar. She rubbed the edge of the blue and pink ribbon, which Lily had insisted she keep in her folder. Pickup authorizations? Then we stop. Did you eat? Clara looked toward the vending machine as though it had betrayed her personally. Nora opened a drawer and produced 3 wrapped cheese sandwiches. School administration survives through emergency carbohydrates. Clara pushed one toward me. You only get half. Your plan already exceeded scope once this week. That seems punitive. It is a measured corrective action. The printer coughed out one page, made a grinding sound, and stopped. Nora sighed. The machine has declined to participate in the custody dispute. By evening, Clara had selected 2 approved backup contacts in the East Office pickup route, rejecting my badge idea because it would single Lily out. Nora updated the records. Clara signed every authorization. The verified chronology, linked attendance, pickups, childcare, and Clara's work schedule. Maya received an encrypted copy. Nothing claimed I belonged to Clara's household. The 3rd week began in the dusty basement office of Clara's building. Priya Shah, the property manager, unlocked maintenance logs, complaint forms, and contractor schedules while a box fan rattled in the window. The neighbor statement in Caleb's petition described a child screaming unattended in the courtyard for nearly 40 minutes on April 14th. Clara remembered Lily playing outside while she joined a client call from a bench 10 feet away. Eleanor's attorney had turned distance into abandonment. Priya placed the original complaint on the desk. The neighbor did not identify Lily. She complained about sustained machinery noise. She opened the contractor binder. The city had authorized landscaping and walkway repairs that afternoon. A wood chipper operated from 3:10 until 3:46. A concrete saw ran twice. I copied the permit number into my notepad and checked the public portal. The timestamps matched. Priya signed a declaration confirming the work and Clara's presence in the courtyard. Clara leaned against a filing cabinet, one hand pressed to her collarbone. So they took a machinery complaint and attached Lily's name to it. Maya will state that, I said, my declaration will cover the verification method. A pipe knocked above us. Clara flinched and missed the bottom step when we left the basement. I held my hand near her elbow without touching. Can I steady you? She nodded. My fingers rested against her sleeve for 2 steps, then moved away when the floor leveled. Outside, rain dotted the walkway. Clara opened her umbrella and held it between us. You can stand closer than a witness interview distance. I have not found that measurement in the county rules. It is in the appendix titled Try Being Normal. I skipped that section. She smiled, then handed me a fresh battery for my field flashlight. Your indicator turned red downstairs. You noticed? You are not the only person who keeps records. That evening, Maya compared Priya's declaration, the municipal landscaping permit, and the neighbor's original complaint. The false identification of Lily became our first clear example of a claim growing as it passed from person to person. It also created a new problem. Caleb's attorney filed an affidavit from Eleanor stating that Clara routinely worked behind a locked door while Lily moved through the building unsupervised. Clara read it at her kitchen table under the warm pool of a brass lamp. The loose deadbolt strike plate beside the front door clicked whenever the hallway draft pressed against it. She reached for a screwdriver. That has been bothering you, I said. For 3 months. Do you want instructions, a contractor referral, or an extra pair of hands while you fix it? Hold the flashlight. She removed the short screws and found the wood around one hole stripped. I showed her 3 replacement options, and she chose longer screws that reached the stud. She drove them in herself while I kept the beam steady. When the strike plate sat flush, she tested the lock. The bolt closed with a clean metallic click. "One perimeter secured," she said. "Your perimeter." Her gaze stayed on the lock for a moment. "Better." We moved to the granite-colored laminate table, where the custody spreadsheet waited beside a glass of water. Lily slept down the hall. Clara had left black coffee near my laptop and a bowl of soup under a plate so it would stay warm. "I blocked the next hour on your calendar," she said. "No calls. Maya approved the break." "You accessed my calendar?" "You sent me a scheduling link." "That is a dangerous amount of authority." "I am using it to make you eat soup." We reviewed no documents for 58 minutes. Clara sketched a dragon for Lily's lunch note while I replaced the battery in my flashlight. The silence did not need fixing. The fourth week brought Evelyn Price, a court-appointed custody evaluator, to Clara's apartment. She inspected sleeping arrangements, medication storage, emergency numbers, the school route, and child care plan. Then interviewed Clara and Lily separately. Caleb's home visit occurred the next day. My role was limited to the home safety checklist Clara had authorized. I checked smoke detectors, window latches, the fire escape path, and the front door strike plate Clara had repaired. I documented conditions without ranking either parent. Evelyn watched me test the hallway alarm. "You live here?" "No." "Do you stay overnight?" "No." "Are you in a romantic relationship with Ms. Moore?" Clara stood near the kitchen doorway. Her thumb moved toward her finger. I looked at her rather than answering for her. "We are not presenting Bennett as part of my custody case," Clara said. "He completed a limited security review and verified records under counsel's direction." Evelyn wrote that down. "Good. Courts need facts, not performances." After the inspection, Eleanor waited across the street beside Caleb's car. Caleb was there for the first time since the fundraiser, one hand on the roof of his sedan. He looked tired rather than triumphant. "I asked Mom not to come," he said when Clara approached. Eleanor folded her arms. "Someone has to make sure this is honest." Clara kept Lily inside with Nora, who had come as the approved after-school contact. "Caleb, do you want primary school week custody because you plan to provide it, or because your mother plans to?" His eyes shifted toward Eleanor. "I have a stable house now," he said. "I missed a lot while I was traveling." "That is true. You can ask for more time, but your proposal names Eleanor for 4 pickups and 3 overnights every week." "She's family." "So am I." Eleanor stepped forward. "You are making this hostile." Clara's hand flattened against the folder at her side. "No, I am making it specific." Caleb looked at me. "And what are you making it?" I kept my hands visible. "Nothing. Clara asked you a parenting question." He stared at the pavement for a long moment. "I want more time with Lily. I also start a new project in 8 weeks. It may involve travel." There it was, a fact his petition had not explained. Clara nodded once. "Then give Maya your real schedule. We can build a plan around the parent who is present, not around an image either family wants to sell." Eleanor's mouth tightened, but Caleb did not let her answer for him. "I'll send it," he said. The evaluation continued. Eleanor's leverage weakened, but it did not disappear. 2 days later, she emailed Nora and copied 3 members of the school foundation, suggesting the school faced liability if it allowed Clara to remain the primary pickup parent during a custody dispute. Nora forwarded the email to Maya without responding. Maya issued a written non-interference notice and requested preservation of all school communications. The principal barred both families from discussing litigation at school events. Eleanor could still attend public programs, but any custody communication had to pass through counsel. Clara read the notice in Maya's secured review room. Her thumbnail touched her finger, then fell away. "I want to answer Eleanor myself," she said. Maya nodded. "You may send a factual boundary through me." Clara dictated 3 sentences. "Do not contact school staff about pending litigation except through the process established by counsel. Do not approach Lily about custody. I will continue supporting her relationship with Caleb under a schedule based on his actual availability." Maya sent it under Clara's name. No man rescued her from that line. We made sure no one could bury it. The 5th week began with an opposing affidavit thick enough to stop a door. Caleb's attorney reframed the fundraiser report, school review, and safety checklist as proof Clara could not function without outside intervention. My first instinct was to call Maya and control every communication channel before the claim spread. I called Clara instead. "Do you want me to come over, contact Maya, or stay on the phone while you decide?" A pause. I heard a drawer close on her end. "Contact Maya," she said. "Then come over, but bring no finished plan. I can comply with at least one of those conditions. With effort, perhaps both." When I arrived, Clara had taped Lily's repaired ribbon above the kitchen table. Beneath it sat the affidavit, a black coffee for me, and 2 slices of pizza. She pointed at the chair. "Eat first, crisis perimeter later." That phrase may be trademarked. "Your attorney can contact my attorney." We worked with Maya by video. The affidavit claimed I had installed extensive security modifications and assumed quasi-parental authority. Clara corrected the record line by line. She had repaired the lock. Nora and the after-school coordinator were the approved contacts. My assessment had recommended ordinary smoke alarm and documentation practices. I had no school pickup authority and had never been alone with Lily. The verified chronology became stronger because the limits were visible. Maya built the hearing binder with school records, childcare invoices, work calendars, Priya's declaration, the municipal permit, Evelyn's preliminary evaluation, Caleb's travel disclosure, and my limited security declaration. Every exhibit carried a source, date, custodian, and purpose. Bennett's chronology separated actual safety facts from Eleanor's assumptions. Maya said, "That made Clara's evidence reviewable." Clara capped her pen, "And my evidence? Shows Lily's routine is stable and that you have a support network based on named roles rather than invented relationships." Maya turned to me. "At the hearing, you present only the verification sequence if Clara asks. No custody opinion." "Understood." Clara replaced the ribbon in a clear sleeve so its torn edge would not worsen. "I want to open." I took the prepared speaking outline from my folder, looked at the paragraphs I had written for her, and fed them into Maya's shred bin. Clara raised an eyebrow. I prepared a script before asking. "That is becoming a recognizable condition. I am pursuing treatment. Is the treatment listening?" "Experimental, but promising." She chose the order of exhibits herself. The hearing arrived in the 6th week under a flat white sky. The courthouse smelled of floor polish and defeated coffee. Maya sat beside Clara. Caleb and his attorney faced us, with Eleanor behind them. Evelyn waited near the witness table. Before the clerk called the matter, I placed the indexed evidence binder on Clara's side of the table. "Do you want me to present the safety chronology, or do you want me beside you while you open?" "Present the verified sequence," she said. Her hand opened flat on the cover. "I'll address the custody claims." The judge first considered Caleb's request for an emergency transfer of school week custody. His attorney described Clara's freelance schedule, the school contact issue, the noise complaint, and the security work as signs of instability. Maya objected when conclusions outran the records, but she let the factual disputes develop. Then Clara stood. She did not rush. She opened with Lily's actual week, school, aftercare on 2 days, Clara's studio hours, a Wednesday evening with Caleb by agreement, and weekend time that had continued even after the petition. She presented the audited work and childcare chronology and explained each backup contact. Nora's declaration confirmed the school had never issued a neglect or safety finding. Priya's declaration and the municipal landscaping permit showed that the cited courtyard noise came from a wood chipper and concrete saw, not from an unattended child. Evelyn's preliminary report found Clara's apartment safe, Lily's routine consistent, and both parents capable of expanding Caleb's time through a gradual plan. Clara turned toward Caleb. "I will not accept alternate weekends in exchange for silence about the inaccuracies in this filing," she said. "I propose that Caleb receive 1 school night dinner, alternating weekends, and additional time during weeks when he is not traveling, After 3 months of consistent availability, we can review one overnight during the school week. Caleb looked at his lawyer, then at Lily's schedule in the binder. Clara continued, I also request that Eleanor stop approaching Lily or school personnel about this case. She may attend public events, but custody communication must go through the parents or counsel. The judge asked Maya about the supporting chronology. Maya nodded to me. I carried the binder to the lectern, using the school pickup logs, time-stamped incident report, access records, municipal permit, and source index. I explained how each disputed claim had been verified. I offered no opinion about who should raise Lily. My conclusion covered only the evidence. Clara's documented schedule matched the school and childcare records. The late pickup had been reported and supervised. The noise complaint had been misidentified, and my professional work had remained limited by written scope. Evelyn testified next. She supported a gradual expansion of Caleb's time rather than an emergency transfer. She also recommended that neither extended family member contact the school about litigation without parental authorization. Caleb asked to speak. His attorney hesitated, but the judge allowed it. My travel was left vague in the petition. He said, That was a mistake. I want more time, but I cannot promise school week care I may hand to my mother. I agree to the gradual schedule. Eleanor's face changed, but the courtroom was not hers to direct. The judge denied the emergency transfer and entered Clara's gradual plan, requiring Caleb to provide travel dates 30 days ahead when possible. Neither family could discuss litigation with Lily or pressure school staff. A review was set for 4 months. Clara's hand stayed open on the table. Outside the courtroom, Eleanor approached the security line and stopped where the posted order required her to stop. You made me look dishonest, she said to Clara. Clara held the sealed copy of the order against her folder. The record showed where the statements changed. You may remain Lily's grandmother. You may not use her school as leverage. Eleanor looked toward Caleb. He did not step beside her. This family is being divided, she said. No, Clara replied. The parenting decisions are returning to the parents. Eleanor left without apologizing. The boundary did not need her approval to exist. That afternoon, Maya closed the emergency engagement, confirmed the review date, and gave Clara a payment schedule. Nora had acknowledged the school restriction, and Priya's declaration remained preserved. My limited security engagement ended with a 2-page completion letter. Clara signed beneath the sentence confirming that she had received the chronology, source index, and all original records. No ongoing access, Maya said. No implied authority. Future work requires a new written request. Clara handed me my copy. You are officially out of my case. That sounds less flattering than I expected. It is meant as good news. It is excellent news. Maya gathered the binders. I am leaving before either of you turns professional closure into a complicated sentence. She closed the door behind her. The room held one narrow window, 2 empty coffee cups, and Lily's ribbon inside its clear sleeve. Clara lifted it from the table. I asked you to pretend that day. I looked at the repaired tear and then at her. Why pretend? I said. I'd stay for good. She did not answer with a speech. She slid the ribbon across the table until it rested beside my closed field notebook. Dinner first, she said. Tomorrow we decide what staying means when no hearing is waiting. That is a better procedure. I learned from an exhausting consultant. 4 months later, the community center lawn looked almost the same, except the air carried cinnamon instead of spun sugar, and everyone wore light jackets. Balloons moved above a winter family fair. Colorful bunting stretched between the brick pillars, and the south gate remained clear because the event committee had adopted the crowd plan from my original assessment. Caleb stood near the craft table helping Lily tie paper ribbons around donated books. His travel schedule had stabilized enough for the interim plan to expand by 1 overnight. The court review had kept the arrangement in place. Eleanor attended under the school boundary and spoke to Lily about the craft booth, not the case. Clara walked toward me carrying 2 travel mugs. She wore a blue coat over a simple dress and had a brass key looped around one finger. Nora Bell joined us with the event clipboard. Bennett, are you here as security? No, Clara said before I could answer. She placed one mug in my hand. He is here's my partner. Nora's smile was quick and knowing. Then he still has to keep the gate clear. His authority begins and ends with movable chairs, Clara said. Finally, I replied, a role proportionate to my temperament. Lily ran over with a laminated card. Inside it was the original blue and pink ribbon, flattened but still visibly torn. Beneath it, in careful block letters, she had written, Family Perimeter Badge. You need this, she told me. I thought I was off duty. This is personal security. Clara handed me the brass key. This is personal too. No emergency authority, no automatic decisions, just a key to our apartment and your name on the shared calendar for the days you have agreed to school pickup. I opened the calendar app on my phone. Clara had entered every date herself, including Caleb's weekends, Maya's review call, and one blank Saturday labeled Nothing Scheduled. You protected an empty day, I said. You were becoming a risk on my worksheet. I accepted the key. Then Clara, Lily, and I moved 2 chairs away from the emergency gate before sitting together at the craft table. The ribbon stayed imperfect inside its clear card, and the brass key rested beside it while we secured the perimeter without locking anyone inside. The end. Closing thoughts. Healthy love creates safety through consent and consistency, not control. When has someone's steady support helped you choose for yourself? The green flag is a partner who asks before acting, respects professional boundaries, shares credit, and protects your agency while staying dependable. Please like and subscribe so we can share more stories like this.